guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Fayy Lenee back with another video. And for today's video, I have a makeup tutorial for you guys. I'm going to be showing you guys how to get this New Year's Eve glam makeup tutorial. I wanted to do something a little bit different from your typical gold and silver smoky eye. So I decided to give you all the rose tones with this look, and then I made it a little bit more glam with the glitter eyeliner. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to recreate this look in case you have plans for New Year's Eve and you want to just get a little bit glam, or if you just want to be chilling on your couch but you just want to be glam when you bring in the new year, then you can recreate this look. So this look may look a little bit difficult, but I promise you it's super easy to recreate and it will look beautiful across a ton of different skin tones. So before we get started, if you are new to my channel, as I mentioned, my name is Fayy Lenee. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video and hanging out with me for today's tutorial. If you are not new, you guys already know what it is, so thank you so much for coming back. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, and if you are new, be sure to subscribe before you leave. And without further ado, if you would like to see how to recreate this look, then please keep watching. So starting off with my eyes already primed, the very first eyeshadow palette that I'm going in with is the Morphe x Jaclyn Hill Ring the Alarm eyeshadow palette. I'm picking up the shade Rush, and this is going to be our transition shade. So I'm using a big fluffy blending brush and buffing that back and forth into the crease, as well as on the outer V of my eye. I'm not really being too precise with this shade, just really making sure to focus it in the crease. And then next up, I'm going in with the shade Alert. This shade is going even more precisely in my crease area. So as you can see, I'm using a little bit more of a smaller, more tapered blending brush, and I'm placing this shadow directly in my crease area right underneath the other shade that I applied. With the other shade, I did blend it up towards my brow bone. This one, I'm not really doing that too much. I'm just placing it directly in my crease and using it to start to define the crease area. Once I have that applied, I'm going to go ahead and start to define my outer V. I'm using the shade Secret, which is a dark chocolate brown shade, and I have a small blending brush that I'm using to place the product on my outer V. And then once I have it placed, you'll see that I'll start to do a little bit of blending in the crease, but for the most part, I'm just kind of stamping and placing the product on the outer V to build up the pigmentation and then blending whatever is left into my crease area. Next, I'm going to cut my crease. I'm using the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and I'm just going to apply that to my lid and use it to cut my crease area. You guys know I like to do this just to create a little bit more definition and give me a little bit of a guide on where I'll be applying my lid shade. I do apologize, it's a little bit out of focus, but you know how it is. You get focused on what you're doing and then you just completely forget to stay in the frame. But right on top of that concealer, I'm going into my Norvina eyeshadow palette, and I'm using the shade Rose Gold. I'm picking this up on a flat shader brush, and I'm just going to apply it right on my lid. I did use a little bit of Fix Plus for this shade just to help it to apply a little bit more smoothly and eliminate fallout. So that's why the shade is applying super smooth, but I'm just applying it right up to the edge of where I cut my crease. And then here I'm going back in with the shade Alert on that tapered blending brush and just using it to define the crease area just a little bit more. I really want that cut crease to pop, so I'm just applying this shade directly in the crease just to define it a little bit more. And then going back in with the shade Secret as well and just deepening up that outer V area. And then of course, once I have the shades built up the way that I like, I'm going to go in and just blend everything out just to make sure that there's a nice smooth transition between all of the shades up to my brow bone. And then after that, it's time for the fun part. So I'm going in with this glitter from Revlon, and I really like this because it has a pointed applicator that is similar to an eyeliner applicator. And I'm just going to use that to basically apply glitter eyeliner. So I'm just applying it across the top of my lid, and then here I'm creating my wing. I highly recommend using tape for this because this applicator is not super precise, so having the tape definitely helped to give me a nice sharp wing. And a little tip with this, I recommend not putting too much on your inner corner because it does kind of start to peel up a little bit. So I didn't put too much on the inner corner portion of my eye, but I did build it up on the wing area. And I kind of created a gradient from the inner corner out to the wing, with the wing being the most pigmented with the glitter. So after that, I applied my lashes and a little mascara off camera, and then I'm going to do a little bit of tight lining on my upper waterline. I'm using this black pencil from Loreal, and I'm just using this so that there isn't any flesh peeking through since I'm not using black eyeliner. I want to make sure that it's nice and black where the lashes meet my lash line. So that is why I'm tight lining my eyes for this particular look. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the face. So first, I'm going to prime. You guys already know the drill. I'm using my Too Faced Replenishing Primer and then my Matte Rescue from Benefit. And then after that, I'm going to go in with the Farsali Skin Smoothing Primer, which I've actually really been enjoying. It's ridiculously expensive, but it's definitely worth it if you're looking for a primer that's going to do a great job of smoothing your skin. So I'm just going to apply those all over my face. And then after that, I'm going to set all of my primers with the Cover FX Matte Setting Powder. If you've been watching my videos, you guys know this is a trick that I like to do. It helps to prolong your makeup throughout the day, helps to control your oils throughout the day if you are oily. If you are not oily, I would recommend skipping this step, but it has been a lifesaver for me because I'm super oily. For foundation, I decided to go in with the Lancome 24 Hour Tint Idole Foundation. Since this is a New Year's Eve glam look, we want to make sure that our makeup lasts all night long, and this is a really great foundation for that. So I'm applying that all over my skin. And then once I have that applied, I'm also going to add a little bit of extra coverage using the Too Faced Sculpting Concealer. I really like using this concealer to add extra coverage on specific areas of my face after I apply my foundation. That way you're not having to apply a full additional layer of foundation. You can just apply this to the specific areas that need extra coverage, and it keeps you from getting super cakey. So once I have that blended out, I'm going to go ahead and move on to concealer. I'm sticking with my Too Faced Born This Way Sculpting Concealer, and I'm using the shade Warm Beige. I'm obsessed with this concealer. It is so amazing. Like literally, if you haven't tried it, you need to try it out. It leaves your skin looking super flawless. So I'm just going to blend that out with my damp beauty blender, and of course highlight and conceal in one step with this concealer. And then once I have that applied, I'm going to set everything in place with the Beauty Bakery Flour Powder. This is a new product to my collection. I've been trying it out lately, and so far I have been enjoying it. So I'm just going to apply this to all of the areas that I apply the concealer, and of course use it to bake because again, we want our foundation and our makeup in general to last all night long. So baking is going to help us to keep everything in place. And then I'm going to go ahead and finish up the lower lash line. So I'm going in with this kind of rosy, bronzy liner from Urban Decay. I'm applying that in my waterline and then defining my lower lash line with the shade Secret, which is the same shade that we used in the outer corner of our lid. So I'm using a flat definer brush for this. I'm bringing it about 2/3 of the way into my lower lash line. And then I'm going to go in with the shade Alert and use that to buff and blend it out. So I'm using a little small precise pencil brush. This one is from Morphe. It's part of their Elite collection. And I'm just applying that shade right on my lower lash line and buffing it out. And then here I'm going in with another pencil brush. This one doesn't have any product on it, but I'm just using it to continue buffing out that shadow on my lower lash line so that we don't have any harsh lines. Next up, I'm going back to my Norvina palette and I'm picking up the shade Rose Gold on a pencil brush. And I'm just going to apply this to the inner third of my lower lash line. It's the exact same shade that we used on the lid, of course, but I wanted to add a pop of that shade on my lower lash line as well. And then I'm going to highlight my inner corner with the shade Dreamer from the same eyeshadow palette. So I'm just popping that right on my inner corner, both eyes, of course, and blending it into the shadows that we already have applied. Next up, I'm going to dust off any excess powder from the baking. And then once I have all of that dusted off, I'll go ahead and go in with my mascara. I decided to wait to do lower lash mascara until after I dusted off this powder just to make sure we don't have any mistakes happening because it will be just my luck that I'll make a mistake. So actually, it looks like before I did my mascara, I went in with the Sephora face powder. And I'm just applying that all over my face on top of my foundation everywhere that I did not bake. And then after that, I believe that is where I went in with mascara. Yes, here we go. So I'm using this one by Revlon. I believe it is a new one. I'll have it linked for you guys down below. But it's the same one that I use on my upper lashes. So I'm just applying that to my lower lashes as well. And then to contour, I'm using this palette from Tarte. I pretty much mixed all 3 of those contour shades. I barely dip into the darkest one because it is super pigmented. But I just mix all 3 of those together and apply them on the areas that I typically contour. So the hollows of my cheeks, along my jawline, my temples, and my nose. And then after that for blush, I'm using the Blush Book from Tarte. I don't remember exactly what shade I use, but it's basically a neutral kind of mauve-y shade. I'll have it listed for you guys down below in the description. But I'm just applying that to my cheeks and blending it back into my contour. If you don't have the Blush Book, I highly recommend it. There's so many really great colors in there, and pretty much all of them are women of color friendly. And then to set everything in place, I'm using my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. And I'm covering my eyes just because I don't want to have anything running over or getting messed up. And then last but not least for the face, I'm going to highlight. I'm using this one from Loreal. It's from their Crushed Foils collection. And again, I will have the color listed for you guys down below because I don't remember off the top of my head. But I'm applying it to my cheekbones, down the center of my nose. I'll apply it to my cupid's bow, all of the typical places that I normally highlight. This highlighter is gorgeous and it's super affordable. So if you haven't tried out their highlighters, this is another product that I also recommend. And then for lips, the first thing that I'm going to do is line them using Max Cork. Go figure, nothing new there. So I'm just going to line my lips and pretty much completely fill them in for the most part. And then once I have the lip liner applied, I'm going to go in with ColourPop's Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Beeper. I have recently been obsessed with this shade. I've had it in my collection forever and I just randomly pulled it out a couple of days ago. And on top of this lip liner, it's the perfect nude for my complexion. I'm obsessed with it. And then once I have my lip applied, I'm going to set everything in place using the CoverGirl Look Lockup, and I'm just going to spray that all over my entire face to lock everything in for the night. So that is going to complete this tutorial. I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching me create this rosy toned New Year's Eve glam look with glitter liner. Thank you guys so much for all of your love and support throughout 2018. I really appreciate you guys, and I hope that whatever you're doing for the new year, that you have fun and that you're safe. And I'll see you guys in the new year. Bye.